Hello, my name's Roz and I am the manager of the horse team here in Tenerife Horse Sanctuary. So I have been working in animal rehabilitation for about the last 22 years of my life. I studied zoology at university and then I spent a lot of time in the Amazons rehabilitating monkeys, big cats, birds and different exotic species to be living back wild in the jungles. And I've always loved horses, I've always ridden horses, and whenever I needed to earn more money I would go back to the UK and work with horses in different industries like racing and show jumping, breeding horses. Over the years my passion became stronger for helping animals of the domestic sort, so animals that have been part of humans' lives for a long time, and I feel like we owe them more. We owe them a better care. We have a duty of care towards them as we domesticated them. I wanted to come and work in animal rehabilitation with domestic animals, and then I found this place online and they happened to be looking for a barefoot farrier, which is something that I learned in South Africa working with horses, and so I applied and came here. I came here for sort of 6 months to see you know, a different part of the world, and it was cold in England and I didn't want to go home, and it's hot and sunny. But when I got here and I realised that this place has been built in the last 4.5 years, and seeing the potential this place has for the future got me really excited and made me want to stay. We have 18 horses and 9 donkeys at the moment. We rehomed a couple, which was wonderful, and then we gained a couple to fill those spaces. Unfortunately, there's always more in a kind of waiting list that need rescuing. So we take emergency cases whenever they come up. If someone rings and said this horse is in desperate need of care. We also have a bunch of people saying, can you take my horse? I can't afford to look after it anymore. And we keep an eye on those ones, and as long as they're still being looked after, we put them off as long as possible, because we don't want to just be somewhere people feel that they can just dump their horse at the end of its life so they can go and buy themselves a new one. That's not what it's about. So we rescue a few animals here, and there isn't a huge amount of space, so we can't rescue all the animals that we want to rescue. But what we can do is create an education program for the local community, and if we educate the people, there will hopefully be less animals in need of rescue, because people will understand how to look after them better. When we talk about having the resources to rescue all of them, part of it is about space. So Emma and Edo have just bought a whole new piece of land, but it's not yet fenced in. So at the moment we just have the paddocks that we have here, and horse society means that it's very difficult to just add new horses continuously to a paddock if there's not enough space, because then the dynamics of the group change every time you add a new horse, and someone can get bullied and someone can get left out, and someone can get, if the paddock's not big enough, run into a corner and really traumatized by that. This paddock, for example, can't hold more than these two, because anybody else that comes in, it generally bullies Ava, so then she gets damaged. So we've got 2 ways of doing that. We either continue as we always have done, which is all of the materials that you see here are scavenged, they're free, they've been thrown away by companies or found in the rubbish, or and then all of the labour that we've used has been volunteers. But to do that for the perimeter fence is going to be a long time consuming thing, so we might look for sponsorship to get that done. And then all of these horses here can run free, and then we can start thinking more about the education programme starting to happen. It's always about money. So if we have more money, Emma reckons 20 grand, we could have the perimeter fence materials bought and a company built it, and it would be done in a matter of weeks, and then the horses would be in it. And it also costs, at the moment, for our 18 horses and 9 donkeys, it costs about 3,500 to 4,000 euros a month to feed them, because all of our hay and straw has to be imported from mainland Spain because it's not grown on the island. In a magic world, I would make Tenerife covered in grass so that the horses could just eat grass all the time like they do in England or in other places in Europe. And we've tried to grow a little patch of grass over there, the garden team have started, but it's too much irrigation water to make it viable to do that for a big paddock. We also have massive problems trying to work with government's trying to get our legal situation sorted out and just trying to get through to different government departments to just legalise ourselves as we are at the moment. It's taken years. It's taken them 2 years and it's still not done. So then we've got to somehow legalise the idea of bringing big groups here because of insurance and everything like that. So yeah, in terms of that, it's going to take a while, and we really want the building to be finished before we start focusing on that side of things, on the education side of things. We have 3 permanent people at the moment. That's me and Maddie and Julie.
Come on, puppies. Come on.
By permanent, I mean 3-monthers, so anybody that stays for longer than 3 months. We try to have always 3 of those people. And then we have various other people that come through, day volunteers or people that are staying in the rental accommodations here that really like to help walk the horses and walk the donkeys and brush them. They like to learn, and teaching is the only way we're going to save these animals. In the long run is education. So what we want to bring this place onto being, and this is in the future. This is at the first we've got to build the place, and it's got to be finished and put together. But in the future after that, what it would be really nice to be as an education centre. So anything from school groups to what do they call it, corporate team building exercises. Groups of people like that would come here and learn. For me, primarily, it will be compassion and empathy, the fact that animals have feelings, the fact that they need certain care, because a lot of the reason that these animals needed rescuing was actually more to do with ignorance than nasty people, than people actually wanting to harm them. They just don't have a clue what an animal needs to be living a happy, healthy life. So if we can educate them and teach them how to do that themselves, then hopefully there'll be less animals needing rescuing. It's a nice life here, isn't it? But if there's a better life, we will let you have it. Yeah.